There we go. Now you guys should be able to hear me. Haha. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. I'm going to try and get this shared out quickly because we only have 30 minutes. Kind of try and, get in a quick fire. I only have a few days left. I am ending my StreamYard subscription because I refuse to pay $88.99. Going from $44.99 to $88.99 is not going to happen, Captain. So lives as I know it, where I get to see the comments and put them on the screen and do all of my multiple platforms all at one time, that's going away. So trying to get my last couple of ones in before my subscription. Well, I end my subscription on October 3rd. Yeah, for what I do, it's just not worth it. Like if I need to kind of go live in certain places, I'm just going to go live in those individual areas from the regular, like whatever platform I'm on. So yeah, since I want to get my money's worth before it goes bye-bye. And I don't want to be on too long. I figure if I did this right before I have to go get Zion Imani, it keeps me at 30 minutes and not going, too far over that to help keep me disciplined. Because y'all know if I could, I would sit online with you guys all day long answering questions. All right. So hello, 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 hello. Incredible greetings. I'm trying to go through and just make sure everything is visible and share it all out. Copy, share. All right, so one more place to share to. Just bear with me. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. Do we have any questions over on TikTok yet? Nope, not yet. All right, let's go back over here to Facebook and YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings at work. Just listening. Incredible. Hello, all in chat. Can everyone hit the thumbs up, please? Yes, everyone hit the thumbs up and also drop a question. I know some of you guys are at work, but if you have a question for me, inquiry, now will be the time to ask. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be on. Hopefully, we can fill all 30 minutes with back to back to back to back to back to back to back valuable help for you guys. Because we're going to have some people in the room who are able to engage and ask questions and get the help that they need in whatever space it is. Of course, my screen is on Silhouette Studio, but if you happen to have a question about any other design platform, feel free to go ahead and ask those questions as well. If you have a general question about your creative and crafty endeavors, if it is on the business side, website side, anything of that nature, you guys are more than welcome to ask questions, okay? Hello, hello, hello. Incredible afternoon. Thank you for hopping on. Whoa, we're up to 32. How did we get to 32? Whoa. Oh, that's 32 likes, not 32 people. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, no, we need more than 32. Okay? Double tap that screen. I don't know. I was looking at the wrong spot. I thought it was like 32 viewers. I'm like, whoa. Normally my TikTok don't do that. Hello, Quisha. How are you? Hey, 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 princess. How are you? Miss you too. All right, come on, y'all. We only have 30 minutes. Only have 30 minutes. What is something that you would like to see Okay, let's do it that way. What is something you would like to see demonstrated? Since I guess maybe that I think some of you guys freeze up when someone says, "Hey, what questions do you have?" Oh my God, I don't know what to ask. What is something that you would like to see demonstrated? What is something that you would like to learn to do? So that's not, I mean, it is still kind of a question where you are expressing things that you want to learn, because then it will be in a question of how do you trace, how do you make a shirt, how do you sublimate, how do you convert a printer, how do you, like, the things that you want to learn. How do you put a design on a black shirt? Like, what's the best like, these are all technically questions because there are things that you want to learn how to do. Can you change colors quickly? What do you mean with what though? Change colors quickly with what? Hi, Myrna. How are you? Hey, just say. I don't. I'm. It's not a class. I'm not here to volunteer. I'm not getting paid for this. So anything that I cover will be any questions that you guys ask. To just change the colors, this is already vectorized, so does not need to be traced. You click on it, you go over to the color palette, and you just change the color to whatever color you want it to be. It's as easy as that. If you want to select multiple areas, you're going to hold down Shift and click them, and then you can change the color on it. So once it's a vector, you just click on it and change it. Hey, 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 incredible greetings. Thank you for your question. You are welcome. When y'all start, I'm going to start to tell y'all anything. I'm going to go against what I am as far as honestly speaking, because you guys seek no information and it's like, hey, whatever you teach is fine. Whatever you cover is fine. So if I got on here and I started lying, or this is why sometimes y'all get caught up with folk who really don't know what they're talking about. And y'all think just because they have a platform, they have the ability to go live. And hey, why would anybody go live if they don't know what they're talking about? It's a whole bunch of people who don't know what the heck they're talking about, who go live every single day. And you guys gather information from them, like, to where they can never answer a question. They're just going to come on. They're going to regurgitate some stuff that they think they probably read it wrong. And no one's fact checking. No one's questioning, what it is they're teaching. And they just kind of prepared something. It's like, okay, I'm going to just show this. They better not ask me nothing else because I didn't prepare for that. I literally can answer your questions on the spot because I do this for real. Let's see. Did I just change the color? Yes, because it's already vectorized. This was already an SVG. You just click on it and just change the color. It's not a PNG or a JPEG. For that, you would have to trace it. How do you add points? Once you double click, you hover your mouse. It's going to change from a finger or an arrow to a line and an arrow, a smaller arrow, like all black and white. You click and you have added a point. So you have to double click to get to edit points, hover your mouse over the edge, add a point. How do you turn this into a rhinestone image? Well, this is going to be a little bit more complicated because there's a lot of other things to it. But once you vectorize, once you trace it, it has to be vector first. That is the first part. If you don't do well with tracing, or you don't do well with like working with SVGs, well, either you have to know how to trace a PNG, or you're going to need to purchase an SVG, download an SVG or whatever. Rhinestone only works if it is vectorized. So an SVG is a form of a vector image. Tracing makes it a vector image. Tracing does not make it an SVG. SVG is nothing more than a file type, but once you trace it, it's a vector. It has paths. You simply go to the rhinestone tool and you make it rhinestones. Now, that part is very, very easy to do. It's a click of a button, but what's not is the setup of it all. They can't pick up knowledge if no one's asking questions, though. I'm not teaching. I'm answering questions. So if no one asks questions, there's no knowledge to pick up on. It has to be vector. It doesn't have to be an SVG. It has to be vector. Vector means it's not flattened. Vector means you can ungroup it or release compound path, and you can move things around, or as crafters like to say, layers. Vector means that, well, I'm going to say vector means that it's in layers, because in Photoshop, there are layers, but that is not vector at all. That program is pixels. It's rasterized. It's technically flattened. There is no defined edge. But when you're in a program that is vector-based, Silhouette Studio, Illustrator, Affinity Designer, even technically Cricut Design Space, Leonardo is basically a vector because it's meant to cut vinyl and things like that. And in order to have a path, that has to be a vector file, or you have to have a vector outline. So it doesn't have to be an SVG. Vector files are SVGs, depending on how it was created and saved, or from where it was saved. A PDF can be a vector. You have EPS files, you have Illustrator files, you have CAD cut files, you have DTX files. These are all formats of vector files. Let's see. Can you show how to make text a smart object in Photoshop? Sure. You're first going to have to type out your text. All right. So shop.hsink365.com. I didn't mean to put spaces. Let's make it bigger so you guys can see it. So it's there. On your layers panel, you're going to right click on it and you're going to go convert to smart object. As easy as that. It is now a smart object. It's one click. Right click on it, convert it to smart object. Now that means when you want to change it, you can't click in here anymore. You have to click on the smart object in order to change it. So if I were to, let's just say, put embossing on this and I want to change it, I'm going to double click on it and I have to come over here to change the font, to change anything on this. So if I change the font here, or if I change the words, once I exit out, yes, it's going to give me that that font still with those layer styles or layer effects on it. But yeah, all you do is just right click, convert to smart object. It's as easy as that. Now, if it's more that you're like let's say there's a specific thing that you were trying to do. So some people think that, okay, just making it a smart object. Do you understand what making it a smart object even is? Is there a certain thing that you were trying to do with it where you thought that it had to be a smart object in order to get it to do something? So here's where we now have follow-up questions, because for it to be that easy, unless you just did not know the system at all and didn't know to right click to get it, and that's the only information you needed. But if you were trying to do something with it and it's like, okay, wait, that's not all that I want. Like, this is where follow-up kind of comments and questions, this is where they are beneficial. All righty, no other questions. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Welcome in. If you're just jumping on, I am Shakira the Professor. I am doing a quick 30-minute quick fire Q&A and help session for you guys, no matter what the question is, whether it's about Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, business, websites, printers, converting, paper. Well, I don't tell you brands, but I can lead you kind of sort of in the right direction. But you are more than welcome to pick the brain of somebody who's been in this industry or who has 26 years of experience. Within certain parts of it's been, nearly a decade of being in this industry, everything from event planning to doing sublimation and shirts and cutouts and things of that nature. Like tonight, we have our foam board program session, and we're going to go through the beginning parts of learning how to do cutouts and things of that nature. But you guys are more than welcome to pick the brain of somebody who is an industry expert, and I'm here to answer your questions. Do you use Photoshop? I was trying to make a name a smart object so that I can keep the layer style. So a layer style is not, so how can I say it? Making it a smart object is not what's needed to keep the layer style. You can have something, and I'm just going to type out new text. Wait, okay. So when you say layer style, are you trying to do a bunch of different stacked layers, or are you doing everything within that one, like the one available option? And I'll show you what I mean. We're going to go here and let's go 365 Creative Academy. All right, so I'm going to just change this to black so you can see it. Now, on this, I can go into my layer styles and I can make it beveled. So let's say if I did that, I can add a stroke to it. I could add an outer glow to it. I can add a drop shadow to it. So you can do a lot of things to this, and it doesn't have to be a smart object. Let's do. Okay, there we go. There's my shadow. And let me just add a solid color behind this just so that. So see, you can do all of this. You don't have to make it a smart object to do layer styles. Now, if you were wanting to stack, because if you there are certain things that you cannot, it doesn't look quite the same when you stack it, right? So let's say I wanted, when you're looking at the list of layers, the list of layers, I mean, not layer styles. Outer glow is above drop shadow. How you see it here is how those is how the, how can I say it? It's how the effects will show up. So let's say I wanted an outer glow, but I wanted that outer glow to be behind a shadow, right? I would need to do a duplicate of this. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to do a duplicate. On this one, I'm going to convert this one to a smart object. So here, we're going to duplicate this, right? I'm going to just leave it right on top. Here, I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to leave it on top. Now, if I go to here, I'm going to double click on it. And I'm going to change, I'm going to get rid of all of these, and I only want an outer glow. So the outer glow is there, but I still have my drop shadow, right? I'm going to make it a little bit tighter so that you can see. Outer glow is there, but I still have the drop shadow. You can see the drop shadow. I'll turn the drop shadow off so you can see that, and then you see this, right? If I had the outer glow on this one and the drop shadow, do we see how that looks? Because the drop shadow is going to go, it's going to be based off of the outer glow. So we can see the differences in these two because it goes in order. Now, let's say I really like this, but now I want to change this to Shakeya, right? So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to change this to Shakeya. Well, guess what? This back one did not change because it's its own separate layer. But if I come down here and let's do, all right, I got to find, all right, where are you? Wait, is there only one here? Oh, there's only one there. Okay. All right, so let's say on this one, I do the outer glow. Okay, so I have the outer glow on this one. I have this, right? If I now go into here and I change this to Shakeya. What also changed was that outer glow. I mean, that the one that was for the outer glow, because it is a smart object that will allow me to change the text when I have several layers, not several layer styles, but if I am building it up of several layers of the exact same words, and they're going to all create this different effect, because you can have bigger strokes and stroke emboss and just different textures. You can put satin around it. That's when you really get into like designing and detailing. If you go and you do all of those things, you have gradients to kind of create like different shadows and 3D effects. Every time you change the word, you want the word to change with all of those layers, not layer styles. That is where Smart Object comes in handy. But just to put layers, you do not need a Smart Object. Make sense? Silhouette Studio is not a program that is connected across the board. If you are experiencing issues, it is going to be isolated to your computer and your computer only. The only thing that may be affected would be your library and anything that you have in the cloud library, like if something's going wrong with their server or accessing the design store. But the program itself is standalone to everybody's computer. So it might be something with your system. How do you make a logo in Silhouette? And can you use the file at time? Wait, can you feel? I'm sorry. Can you use the file? What do you mean? Anytime? Is that what you're asking? Can you give me more information about your phone board course? Our phone board program, you're going to go over to our 365 Creative Academy. It was initially slated to be a 3-month program. We're kind of doing like the trial part of that, depending on the engagement and if it is a continued need. And there are those who want to see other projects or learn other projects or just be in the room where we do projects together. Our goal is our plan was to have it be an ongoing program, but it was, I do everything in 3-month bursts, excuse me. And we have, you'll have to, of course, go back and watch the videos and things that are there that we've already gone over as far as how to cut foam board and like all those different techniques. We've done a couple different projects. What is going on here? 365 Creative Academy.com. All right. My dashboard. All right, let's just search foam board. Hey, why is it not coming up? Oh, wait, why is my thumbnail not showing up? Oh, wow. All right, so here we go. All right. So as you can see, we have like today's project is the character cutout. We have like, there's like different downloads. If you'll get bonus videos, like if I'm working on something foam board, watch me work, I'll share that. We did the foam board box. We did the selfie frame. We did a large pillow. We went through how to cut foam board. So you get to really learn how to master and perfect it. There are several ways that you can join. So I'm going to go to overview. Oh, it's not. Oh, so it will be $36.50 for the first payment and $13.65 each month thereafter. And we currently meet every other Tuesday. All right. So some people have a misconception of what a logo is. A logo could be just words. A logo could be images and things of that nature. A logo could be a mixture of, you found an SVG that was a truck, and now you're going to add some text around it. You're going to add some color. You might add some effects to it if you wanted an offset on it, if you wanted that truck to be cut out of. So there's no special way to make a logo. She could technically be a logo. All right. Mini could be a logo. And it's about then, how do you save it? You can save it as an SVG because you want to be able to cut it from vinyl so that, cut it from vinyl to make yourself a shirt, cut it from adhesive vinyl to make yourself a decal. You want it to be in a SVG format. It makes it easier for it to be digitized. You can then save it as a PDF file. You can save it as a JPEG file, a PNG file, but it's just a matter of creating it. There's no special way. You could go and just, because you're selecting a certain font, you want to fill it in with color. Even if you don't alter the font, you can type it out, whatever your business name is, and that can be your logo. There are logos that are simply words. A logo does not have to have pictures to it. A logo normally does not have a rasterize to where it's like, okay, it's a real picture of a strawberry, because then it's going to be hard to convert that and for it to be used in different things. A logo does not have to have glows and glitters. These are accents to it. But when you're making a logo, an effective logo looks good in black and white. If it doesn't look good in black and white and you don't love it in black and white, then guess what? It's not an effective logo, because if it's only effective with all of the other bells and whistles, it's just, that's why you like it. It's just not effective. And to answer your question, as far as you can use it anytime, of course, it doesn't have to be a Silhouette file. If you have Silhouette Business Edition, you are able to save in a wide variety of file formats. And that is what makes it where you can use it anytime and in any program. Professor Best Friend, it's hard to ask a question when I know the answer has been given. It doesn't matter if it's been given before. If you need that answer now. So although, yes, the resource is there, right? But if you were working on something right now and it's like, man, you were frustrated, why would you go, even though you have access to Essentials of Silhouette Studio, you have access to the what's that thing we have? The Student Union. You may have access to our memorial class. You have access to our phone board class. You have access to our party favor class. You have access to our face off, like the switch up. You have access to our sublimation seminar, our sublimation boot camp. You may have access, I'm trying to think of our design challenges. But if you have a question right now, here is where you ask that question at. If you have a concern right now, this is where you ask that question at. If you had something that you were just about to Google, just about to YouTube, if you saw something in a group 5 minutes ago and you question it, this would be an opportunity. So just because you have access to classes in your own time, yes. If you're looking for it, it's in the middle of the night, the professor's not available, you go find those. You go find the answers in your journal that you have. But if I'm live and you have a concern, it's silly to be like, oh, well, no, I have all your classes, so I'm not going to ask the question, even though you have a need right now. When you have a need and I'm live saying, hey, use me, get your questions answered in real time, that's what you should be taking advantage of. How to make a watermark. A watermark is nothing more than an image with the opacity taken down. So there's nothing special to making a watermark. I can go in here if I wanted my name to be that watermark. We're going to take off all effects on this. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to take off all the effects on this one. So if I wanted this to be quote unquote a watermark, I'm going to take my fill and or opacity down, and it's just going to make it where it's lighter. Then you could save that. So you can, if that's what you're meaning, like it's with a bunch of stuff, how do you save it by itself? If you can either put it on a page by itself and you would, trim all the edges around it, or from here, because the opacity is already low, you're going to right click, you're going to export. You can even do quick export as a PNG. It's only going to export that one element. All right, so we export that. If I now come over to here, I'm going to go file merge. I'm going to, let's go group by date modified. And where are you? Yesterday. Why are you under yesterday? You should be up. There should be one for today. Maybe it didn't save. Let's see. I'm trying to rush because I'm 5 minutes over. All right. So it should have saved. Hold on. Let's go back over here. Let's do it this way. Let's go to my home and, it was under documents. That's why. So I'm going to click on that. And you see how it's translucent. It's not, it's not solid. That's what a watermark. Technically, a watermark doesn't even have to be translucent, guys. We're so used to that, but a watermark could be like you're just marking it. I could have had my logo at the bottom of it, and I've marked that particular image. Traditionally, a watermark means that it is a lightened version of something, but just having your logo on something is you watermarking it. You are putting your stamp on it. At the end of the day, that is what watermarking means. It's not a specific or a special way of doing something. Illumination without clicking the light switch and applying illumination without clicking the light switch and applying what I've been taught. I get stuck and need my questions answered at that time. Then I feel silly because I know I've seen, but I see stuff. Okay, y'all have to break out of that. Why? We're human. We are of a particular age. Everything is not going to flood back to our remembrance. I have to reference things all the time. Yes, I come on here and I answer questions for you guys, but it doesn't mean that everything is just stuck in my brain. I am 43 years old. Okay. and everything doesn't rush back. Like, that's silly to think that you're supposed to remember everything. I have videos because they are the ultimate, like, reference guide. I have been doing this for 10 years. If you have been following me for half of that time, it is silly to think that you are going to remember something that you may have saw. Your brain may pick it up and say, okay, I know I heard her voice when I saw her demonstrate this, but what if it was a video from 5 years ago? I have something where, or you may have picked it up in a Q&A. It just says Q&A, help session. It doesn't list, okay, it was this particular thing. You will never, ever find that unless you are going to take the time to go through every live Q&A that I did to figure out which one it was when I heard the professor say X, Y, and Z. If I am live, ask the question. If you have a question in real time, why are you guys not utilizing the group? You pay to be a part of our classes. You pay to be a part of our programs. That gives you access to the student union. But if you go and because you're prideful and you're not wanting to ask the question as if somebody's going to judge you, then you only have yourself to blame when you're sitting there forever and ever and ever, like not being able to figure it out. Yes, you might need answers at that time. Post it in the student union. Try tagging me in the student union. That's what it's there for. And even if, like, maybe if I don't see it, if it's like you're working late night, I don't see it. If I see it in the morning, I can then answer it. But you're still not having to search here, there, and everywhere. I'll be honest with you, when I'm doing videos, especially if it's not in a dedicated class. See, dedicated classes, you know exactly where something is and how it's done. You just got to go out and find, unless you're someone that has 70 different courses or classes from our academy. So now if you got like 70, 80 of those joints you have to go through, there might be a little bit, you can at least ask the question, hey, this is the issue that I have. Can you think off the top of your head, what video, what class might I find this information in? Would I be able to tell you the exact timestamp? Absolutely not. But I can tell you, okay, I remember discussing that in this video, that, different things like that. When I'm doing live videos, I'm there to capture the people who are there in real time, to be honest. Because how many times have I repeated the same thing over and over again? I can see if I've done one tracing video in 10 years, okay? And it's like, okay, I don't want to ask about tracing because, man, she did a tracing. I can just go back to that one tracing video. Do you know how many videos I've done tracing on? Do you know how many videos I've done point editing on? How many videos I've done saving files or subtracting or offsetting on? So you have to get that out of your mindset. You are going to, if any of you, not just you, I'm going to take your name out because I want you to feel like I'm talking to just you. This is for anyone. If you are connected with someone who's saying, hey, we are a community, we are here to actually help you, not just take your money or whatever, and we have this, you have to do, we're here to help you. And when it's not even related to the thing that you paid for, and they're coming on randomly to say, hey, if you have a concern, have a question, you're stuck with something, ask me right now. I don't understand why y'all won't take advantage of that. Why is there this embarrassment? Why are you letting your egos and things like that get in the way of getting the help that you need when somebody is offering it? If that is you and you want to be successful, you are going to have to break out of that immediately, okay? Or as T.I. would say, expeditiously, okay? In that case, I never get to participate. In that case, I never get to participate in the phone board class. It's notification. So I do send out emails about when it is, but it's always every other Tuesday. That means you also, Valerie, are not checking your dashboard. You guys should be going. That if you're not seeing it, that means you're also not checking it. So that would be on you guys if you are not checking your dashboard. But it was always been that way. It's every other Tuesday. And that Zoom link has been on there for 3 weeks now. All right. Well, I got to go because I have now 5 minutes by the time I get to the car to go get my kiddo. Thank you guys so very much. Hopefully next time you guys won't be so shy or feel like you cannot ask it. I hope this spirit of being silly goes away and you get what you need, guys. I am here to help you be successful at whatever it is, not just if you want to turn this into a business. I didn't start teaching this necessarily to help people become millionaires, help you to make six figures. Now, if that is your only goal, I may not be the person for you because you're not going to see me put money first. You're not going to see me do lifestyle and tell you how much money I've made. I've made $1 million. I've made six figures. I've made this in an hour. I made this in a few weeks. If that is your motivator for wanting to learn the things, I am not the person that you need to follow. There are several people who lead with that. I lead with, I've been doing this for 26 years. I have developed skills. I've been through the growing pains. So if I can go and I can give you some help to say, this is a better way of doing it. If you're going to cut foam board, yes, I know there's a bunch of people and they're using razor blades and they're using Dollar Tree blades and snap. Have I been there? Yes. I've used them, especially when I was short on cash. It's easy especially when it's just a Dollar Tree. It wasn't, $1.25 when you go in there. Everything was just $1. I would stack up on those. But I also realized how much of a headache it was for detailed things. So when you have someone that's saying, yes, you can use this. I started out with this, but here is a better way. Pay a little bit more. Then it's like helping you work through. Are your first cuts going to be absolutely perfect? Heck no. Now, I hope this doesn't come off wrong or seem like kind of cocky when I say this, but I've been cutting foam board for nearly 15 years, probably more than that. Actually, 16 years probably. If you are just starting, unless you are just a prodigy, you're not catching up to me just by taking my one class. Your cuts still might look a little jagged. Your cuts are still going to, not be that perfect. You're not going to get the results that I have. And that's not me saying that you cannot get there, but you are taking a class. You're attending 1 or 2 classes. You're cutting. I've been cutting foam board. There was at one point where I was cutting several pieces, like several cutouts in a day for weeks and months straight, because that's all that I did. I have a lot of skin in the game. So one class is not going to put you at the level that I am at. But if you continue to work at it, you continue to go back to those videos, making sure that each time you watch it, you are applying the techniques that I am showing you. You are investing in, eventually investing in some of the equipment or supplies. Now, starting off, you're like, okay, I can't really, go that route. I need a cheaper version. I'm going to take your principles and your methods and kind of apply it to this cheaper material. And then eventually you will be able to get, I don't know anyone's situation. So maybe you just can't. And when you can get better, you'll do better. I was doing print and cut cutouts, or even with my foam board cutouts. I'm doing print and cut with my Cameo, printing it on regular paper. I had to glue the back. I've gone through double-sided glue tapes, the Elmer's one, the tape runners. I've gone through the tape glider. I've painted on glue on the back. I've used glue sticks. I've used my Xyron. I've put 3M on the back. I've gone through all of those things that were very tedious, and it makes it seem like, oh my God, this is forever. I'm not going to make any money from this, or even if I'm doing my own projects. But I'm doing enough of them to where it made it where I could buy my Roland BN20, or actually, even before that, I was investing in going out and getting prints done. I didn't try to do it. When I first started, yes, want to do everything in-house. Oh, I have a printer. I have a 13-inch wide printer. I should be able to do this. Not realizing it is so much smarter. When we say work smarter, not harder, smarter is not saving a few pennies and trying to do it at home. Smarter is going to the source or using outsource to where it's going to make your life easier. That's the smarter thing to do. I did that for years before I got my own Roland BN20. And even now with me having that, it doesn't meet all of my needs. It only prints really 18 inches wide. When I want things wider, I would have to either split it in half or like minimize what I'm going to do. I want a bigger one. Now, when I go and I get that bigger one, that's 36 inches, would you be able to maybe afford it at this time? Absolutely. No, maybe not for, I won't say absolutely not, but maybe not for some people. But that doesn't mean that you can't still learn the technique of cutting foam board. Because it doesn't matter if I cut it out from my Roland BN20 and I applied it, if I cut it out from cardstock and I did a print and cut and I put glue on it and put it on foam board and then cut, the process and the technique of cutting the foam board is going to be the exact same way. I don't care if I take a sticker from the corner, go to Walmart and I get the little wall thingies and I want that to now be like more sturdy. I'm going to go get those wall thingies with all the characters, put that on foam board. I'm going to cut it. Why do I say that? Because I have done that. I've done that. So it's about just learning learning from somebody who's actually doing the thing, who has actually mastered it and not just have a good gift of gab and got money to throw at different things. I've done the things and I'm trying my best to help you guys. But if you're gonna let self get in the way, it's gonna take you a lot longer to reach your goals, to reach your dreams, if you go and keep allowing self to get in the way. And on that note, thank you guys so very much. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.